A 24-hour sampling effort at Monroe County's Beanblossom Bottoms Nature Preserve last month is yielding valuable information about the preserve. Sarah Vaughn has this story.
Oxynellids. Got a whirligig beetle.
Yeah, we got whirligig beetles.
In June, BioBlitz at the Beanblossom Bottoms Nature Preserve gave Purdue University entomology graduate students, Charla Raplagel and Amanda Smith, a lot to get excited about.
Tiger beetle, so Cicindela sexguttata.
For example, this beautiful blue-green tiger beetle perched on Charla's fingertip. It's an insect the women describe as a pretty fierce predator. The students were among more than 70 researchers from multiple universities, the Indiana Department of Natural Resources, and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, who conducted the 24-hour sampling effort across the preserve's 700-plus acres. Hoosier Mushroom Society President Steve Russell was also part of the BioBlitz, scouring the forest for fungi.
We do have somewhat of an understanding of certain species that are rare or endangered, but in Indiana, we don't have a good enough baseline knowledge of what exists in our state.
The BioBlitz provided a snapshot of the wetland's biodiversity, giving researchers and land managers a baseline on which to build a better understanding of the plants and animals that live there. When the Blitz started, Sycamore Land Trust land manager Chris Fox was eager to get a broader view of what species called the nature preserve home, because it informs his land management decisions.
A species that I've been really interested in lately and learned more about is the Kirtland snake, which is a state endangered snake, and it's threatened or endangered in pretty much every state that it occurs, and it relies on habitat like we have here.
The Land Trust describes the Kirtland's snake as a reclusive and nocturnal species that spends most of its time underground. Fox says they were surprised to find one inside a trap set in a foot of water, an unusual place for a snake believed to prefer moist open meadows. Now they know the Kirtland snake is there, Fox says some areas that were opened up by a tornado a few years back might now be kept open. The preserve is home to more than one threatened or endangered species, for example, the Indiana bat and the American bittern. Fox says the BioBlitz data is especially important in a time when the planet is warming and many species could be forced to move their territories.
If things change, it may be hard for them to move. Like the Kirtland snake doesn't have a big range, and it's not very mobile. It's not like a bird. So if you lose habitat due to habitat loss, or if changing climate where wetlands dry up or become more flooded that they can survive, then they may have limited places to live.
Another example is the recently discovered cypress firefly. The species was discovered in 2017 and first documented at the preserve in 2019. It's only been seen in 3 other states, and scientists want to learn more about its habits. Fox calls the firefly intriguing. Beanblossom Bottoms is the farthest north the species has been seen, and it's living in a preserve that doesn't have cypress trees and historically never did, according to Fox. That's important information surveys like the BioBlitz help document.
They got to the point where the species was on the brink and they needed sites further north, and knowing more about what's going on at Beanblossom could be really critical to survival.
Fox predicts it could take a year for the full results to come out of the Beanblossom Bottoms BioBlitz. So far, researchers have identified 300 plant species, including a colorful, low-growing zigzag iris, not previously identified at the preserve, plus about 20 snake species and more than 50 bird species, a good number, Fox says, given the count was taken post-migration. The insect tally, though, is still to come. For Indiana News Desk, I'm Sarah Vaughn.